CD&SAM podcast episode something. We might be getting close to 50. I'm not quite sure. But it's been maybe 3 weeks, and we're back here to talk about some Pelicans basketball. It's been a while, been some good, mostly bad since then. We had a 5-game losing stretch, a couple of great wins, and then a tough loss last night, which Connor was in attendance at. And
Yep.
yeah, we haven't talked sports in a while, so it might veer off topic a little bit, but here we are. Connor,
Yeah.
anything?
No, I mean, our main initiative of this podcast is to talk about the Pelicans, but like we also have some other stuff like MLB free agency or NFL, which Aaron Nola. I guess the only thing to really talk about is Aaron Nola re-signing with the Phils. That's pretty
Hey, I
much
think
it.
Soto's coming to the Yankees. That's mine.
Really?
That's what Jeff Passan says. I believe him. I think we gotta make some moves, but that's
Yeah.
not what we're talking about
Yeah.
here.
Um,
Um,
yeah, so like you said, the Pelicans had a 5-game losing streak. Um, but obviously the Pelicans, like their whole rotation or like their whole bench rotation has pretty much been hurt. Because you got guys like Herb, who was out a significant duration throughout that 5-game losing streak. Trey obviously still out. Jose's obviously still out. Jose should be coming back Monday, right?
yeah, I think so.
Because he was questionable. He went from out to doubtful to questionable. So that can only lead you to think that he'll be back either Monday or Wednesday. I'm going to the game Wednesday.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I might be too. They play the Kings, right?
yeah, it's the
They play the
second
Kings the
King.
next two.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the second Kings game.
They play the Kings tomorrow.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, right? Don't
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah,
okay.
they just play back to back with the
Don't make
Kings.
me sound
I,
stupid, Sam.
I don't like all these like back to backs that they have
Yeah, I
early.
know.
They played one with the Mavericks, and then I also just don't like having a big homestand early in the season because it's going to catch up to us later with playing away games. And Pelicans last year were a really good home team, but I think we're one of the bottom teams in the league when it came to road records. So
Yeah.
um, I wish that those games were on the latter half of the season because now I think what would maybe have one more home game with Dallas. I don't think we'll have another home game with Sacramento, and those are going to be teams that are probably close to us in the standings
Yeah.
towards the end of the season.
And we also go to Utah and play back to back in Salt Lake City soon.
Right?
So
Do you remember that back to back we played in Utah last year where we just got smoked? Like,
they were good last year to start the year, right?
yeah, at the start of the season they were like the 3 seed in the West for the first
Yeah.
few months. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, all right, anyway, get back to the Pels right now. Um, I think just kind of generalizing here. I think if the Pelicans stay healthy and if we get healthy, if we actually do get healthy, I think we'll be still be a force to be reckoned with. But I mean, that's what we've been saying for the last 2 years. I know it sounds like rep repetitive, but I mean, we hung with a big dog in the West. I mean, we beat them the day before or a few days before. Was it the day before? Yeah, because it was a
Yeah,
back to back and
back
Zion
to
sat
back.
out. Yeah. So we beat them the day before, and then or we beat the Nuggets the day before, who are obviously the reigning champs. And then we beat or then we lost to the T-Wolves, who are, still one of the best teams in the league, I think.
Yeah, and continues to make that jump, and they're already at 9-3, so they could be in a spot
Yeah.
to
So
like compete for maybe conference finals or in that area. There we go.
yeah. All right, so I'll go ahead and share the screen, at least try to. Um, but in that last play, like, so Sam, did you watch the game at all last night?
No, unfortunately, I could not. I was at a restaurant celebrating my mother's birthday. Shout out to her.
Okay, so okay, move. So so we had Jeremiah, so we subbed JRE in for Herb because Herb fouled out on. I'm not even gonna get into it. It was just a very bad call, and it subbed Herb out, obviously our best defender. So then we brought Jeremiah Robinson Earl in, right? You would think since mind you, Anthony Edwards is fouled out by this point. So you would think Jeremiah Robinson Earl would have the responsibility of making sure Cat doesn't get a wide open look in the paint, right? Yeah, well that didn't happen, and so Cat just hit a pretty easy runner. I think I could have done it myself. Just go up there and just throw it off the backboard and it goes in. But yeah, that last defensive possession was terrible. I I don't know if we point the finger to coaching, but I don't know what else you could, because like that should not happen. And also to consistently blow leads like this. I mean, yeah, okay, you can argue that like people get hot, but it seems like people have gotten hot for like 7 games straight. So coincidence? I think not. Um, anyway, I mean Zion also sat out this game, so that that also had something to do with our offense slowing down. But to get into some stats, I mean, first of all, Sam, what do you think about BI versus Anthony Edwards?
Like who's the better player?
Yeah, or like who would you rather on your team?
This year I think I'd rather have Brandon Ingram from an organizational level. If I was the GM, I'd rather have Anthony Edwards. The upside is higher. But right now, I think I didn't watch the game, but I would assume Brandon Ingram was the best player on the court. And just looking at his stats, he had 30 points. So I mean, Ingram's a guy who last year, towards the end of the season, especially played, in my opinion, like a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah,
I've been very vocal about how I think he's the real face of the franchise, along with Jose, obviously. But yeah, he missed. I did see the last shot he missed. It's a good look for him.
yeah,
Just
I'm
didn't
not mad
fall.
about that at all. He just missed
Yeah,
it.
he had. I mean, he had 30 points in the game, and he was missing. We were missing Zion, which I mean, look, I know that Zion doesn't play or he gets injured a lot, but like
You
he's
can't.
rested two. He can't rest two out of our first 13 games.
Yeah,
Like that's kind of like
he,
he is a basketball player at the end
he's
of the day. Whether
24, bro. You're
yeah, like
24. You're still a kid. Come on, dude.
yeah, I know he is injury prone, but he is employed to play basketball, and when he's available to play basketball, I think we should at least try.
He's rested twice, and then remember he also sat out because he was having a kid. So he's missed three
Yeah.
games so far this year,
Yeah, he's
and
already missed 3 games without having an injury out of 13, and like
that
get like the best players in the league that are playing 90% of their team's games, and I don't know what three is out of as a percentage of 13, but it's not that.
yeah
Um, so it's not good enough so far from Zion, at least from what I've watched. I know he had a very good game against the Nuggets, but
yeah
he
he did.
doesn't. To me, I don't know what you think, Connor, but he doesn't look like he is as in shape as he was coming into the season last year.
Sam, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't really tell.
Uh,
Like,
to me, he looks big. Like I don't
I mean,
think that
yeah, he definitely looks big, but
I
um,
don't think he's where he needs to be physically at this moment, and he'll probably get there throughout the season. But at the moment, it just looks like there's less stretches where, like we saw last year, it's like, man, you really can't stop this guy right now. And I don't
yeah,
know if we've seen that from him this year, other than maybe against the Nuggets in the first
yeah.
half.
And did you watch the game against the Nuggets?
Parts of it, yeah.
I was watching it in the Gizzard, and I saw Zion hit a three. Uh,
Um,
he hit a three, and he made a and one like kind of jump shot. So
yeah,
that was good to see. I doubt he'll continue to incorporate that into his game.
we've
But
seen it a few times. He has a little pull up mid range that he's tried. It looks
yeah,
okay.
I'm just, Sam, you know what I'm waiting for? I'm just waiting
Hmm.
for like over the Christmas break, we have a Pels Nation watch party. The Pels are going up against the Timberwolves. Um, we're the 4th seed in the West. They're the 2 seed in the West.
The
And
idea that the Pelicans are going to be the 4 seed in the West in December is very optimistic, Connor.
this is a hypothetical situation,
uh,
Sam.
I like that
Um,
in your dreams the Pelicans are the 4 seed.
yeah, okay. Um, I lost my train of thought now.
You're
Pelicans are
welcome.
fully healthy. Um, Jose is coming off the bench getting steals and whatever.
Hmm.
I, I'm
I'm in
sorry.
my Pelicans pajama pants. It's a good time.
Yeah, that
Um,
I have school tomorrow.
uh, Public school is great.
Shut up, Sam.
You should come with Connor. Look how long my hair is. Look
Yeah,
at it.
you look different
I
to
look
say the least.
luscious locks.
Um, okay, so let's get into individual players. I like what Dice is doing, man. If if we can kind of like, not have Dyson be a starter, kind of have him off the bench when we get CJ back, I think him and Jose commanding the second unit would be great. Now I say that, what the hell is that? I said All right. I say that, now we just got to make it happen. And Sam, you cannot tell me whenever we get CJ back, whenever we get Trey back, whenever we get Jose back, whenever we have everybody healthy, you can't tell me this team won't be like fun to watch day in and day out.
I mean, yes, but it's purely hypothetical
I'm
that the
trying to
Pelicans
be
will ever
freaking
be fully
optimistic,
healthy.
dude. I,
Eh, You know, I there was a time when I would have agreed with you, but my soul died with that Timberwolves game that we played last year,
the
and just
Thunder game.
no, it was the second to last regular season game
Oh,
against the Timberwolves, and in that moment, all optimism that I had for the Pelicans just went away. Um, it it's really hard to speculate positively about the team. That's not to say that I mean you're 100% correct that if they are entirely healthy, it's still the same team that started 27-9 last year.
how did we start
Uh,
27-9 last year?
Wait, what's that?
How did we do that?
Well, we were fully healthy. We had Zion, Brandon Ingram, CJ
It was like
McCollum,
it's too good to be true. I remember,
Trey.
man, we beat the Sixers and I was like going crazy. Like we just took
Nah,
down
it was the back to back Suns wins that
when
weekend,
we
Friday,
had the Pels
Sunday.
Nation watch party. Yeah.
That was the hypest Pels Nation watch party to date.
Yeah.
Um, but voice crack.
Ah!
Um, but I know you're right. Like if we are fully healthy, we're definitely dangerous in the West. But I just I can't say that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I know I'm very negative, but there are some pieces that I really like on the team,
Hawkins.
like Hawkins. Yeah, obviously Wembanyama and Chet have kind of stole the show as far as rookies go this season.
And Asar Thompson.
And Asar Thompson, who when we played him, he shot like 5 air balls, but
He
otherwise.
is third in Rookie of the Year voting right now. Sam, continue.
Yes. But other than like those three, you can make a case Hawkins has been the most impressive. He's right there with like pretty much anyone when it comes to threes in their first, X amount of games. So, I mean, he's got one of the best jumpers, probably we've
It's
ever
crazy.
seen.
Yeah.
Um, you look at he looks like he belongs to, like, he looks like he's got a very good confidence to him and that he's been a good player his whole career, and that's what he expects to be even at the highest level. And so I like the way just he carries himself, and he looks like he wants to be out there in big moments and taking the bigger shots.
Yeah, he won me and my dad $750 for UConn.
Nice.
Anyway, so I remember in the Pels game when I was watching it, we're they just scored to make it like a or 11 point game. And we were passing the ball in, and everybody just ran down the court. So there was nobody to take the ball up. So we
Mm.
turned it over. They got 2 free throws because we fouled them. It was like our second foul in the last 2 minutes. And I was like, God damn it! I've seen this story before. Lo and behold, we lose by 1 point. If those points aren't scored, who knows? We probably win.
Yeah, and then Ingram missed a big free throw too later in
Yeah,
the
he
game.
did. I
Um,
I knew we were gonna lose once he missed that. Like,
yeah.
and Ant Edwards or it was either him or Conley made a clutch corner three, like bring it
Yeah.
to like two or to tie it, and then Bi got fouled, and then
Right.
missed the first one. Also,
Yeah.
Nikhil was back in the SKC. You saw that?
I did see that. Yes. Back to the Pelicans though. Like
Sorry.
obviously we. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Like obviously we know how good Zion and Brandon Ingram are, and CJ. Hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. Um, I really like Jonas, but there are some other things going on that I really like. I already talked about Hawkins, but then Dyson Daniels. If you have been listening for a while, you know that I'm a big Dyson Daniels believer. I think he is the future starting point guard of the Pelicans. And I really like what I've seen, even though it hasn't entirely shown on the stat sheet, but it's just the style of play. He looks like vastly more assertive. That would be my biggest knock
Let's
on
go check
his
out
game.
Dyson's stats.
Yeah, like my biggest knock on his game last year is that he looked really timid handling the ball. And this year he looks like he's just playing more active and a little more loose. He's been really good on the offensive glass when I've watched. And he hits the spin move every time, but it works most of the time.
He's also
So I
good.
mean,
Got that floater game too.
he does have that floater. Like, I mean, 9, 5, and 4 on a guy that's I don't know how many minutes he's getting, but it's not bad. But
And
I'm
he's
I
shooting
like
kind of efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, he's 34% from three. He's a guy that we didn't really expect to be a shooter coming in. He's more of a facilitator in his offensive role. But
I feel like it's
just
lower than
his
34%. But anyway, go.
yeah, but just his style of play change has been what I've
Yeah.
liked the most this year. And
And
he's
we've
averaging a
needed
steal
it.
and a half.
We've needed him
Yeah,
to do that too. Like we've needed
yeah, for
guys like
sure.
him to step up, guys like Hawkins. Actually, we were. I shouldn't even say that because we weren't even counting for Hawkins to step up, but he did. Or he has. So yeah, shout out to Hawkins. But any other takes on the Pelicans? I mean, we could kind of divert
Um,
this to
I'm just really can't wait for Jose and Trey to get back. They're two of the players I probably enjoy watching the most. Some of the most fun guys out there, especially along with Najee. It should bring kind of the fun energy back to the Pelicans that's been lacking in the
Najee
opening
has
month.
been. He's been shooting it, bro.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah.
shooting it this year. I don't remember
It,
Najee shooting like that, but hey,
it looks like he's really improving year by year, which is good to see.
yeah.
For a guy that there are questions of if he would get kind of out of the rotation if everybody's healthy, but it seems like he's gonna be there to stay in whatever role that he's playing right now.
And we have no idea what is going to happen if everybody's healthy. Um,
Yeah, it's just it's purely hypothetical. Like I said, there goes
like
the
I can
streak.
assure you, my boy Cody Zeller ain't getting no run.
Yeah, although to be fair, I thought at the start of the season I thought it might be possible, but I'm glad that it's not.
Yeah. Um. All right. Well, my last take about the Pelicans is I've always been an optimistic person, so I think we'll be okay. Just got to make the top six. That's what we're going for. Get the top six.
I mean, I agree. That's obviously the case, but
I think right now we're the seventh best team in the West
are we the seventh best team? I mean, I expect the Mavericks to fall off
and the
for
Thunder.
sure. The Thunder, I feel like could be like the five seed this year. I could see it
Really?
the way Chet's balling right now. Um, the
That's on
Kings,
my
I think
fantasy team.
I think the Kings have a regression from last year. Um,
We're about to see
and then
firsthand.
like teams that I would say are like a lock for the top six for me are the T Wolves and
Phoenix.
Nuggets, obviously. Phoenix. I think the Lakers. Um,
Really?
for me, yeah, I think they improved vastly last year. They were my pick to win the West at the start of this season. And I know they've been off to a little bit of a rough start, but I expect them
Wow.
to get it together. But those are four teams that I really expect to make it. And then looking at the rest of the West, you've got Dallas, Oklahoma City, Sacramento. Houston's playing really well right now. Not that I expect that to last, but
Right.
Golden State, if the Clippers, figure it out.
That game
So
against the Rockets was terrible for the Pelicans.
yeah, that Rockets game. I mean, it's a while ago, so I don't want to get into it too much. But I mean, Van Vliet hit some big shots down the stretch, and
I
that's
wasn't
kind of the way
watching
it
it,
goes.
but I was following it in the gizzard again.
Yeah, no, that was kind of the way it went. Van Vliet hit some big shots, and we didn't really execute very well. So, it's the
Yeah,
NBA.
so speaking of the gizzard, Jesuit football will be back next year. Sorry for the voice
Yeah.
crack. Yeah. Jesuit football will be back next year. Don't want to talk about it this year, but now we can talk about professional football. Sam.
Yes. Are we talking about the Saints or like what? Just general?
Sam, you were the one who wanted to talk about football, damn it. Figure it out.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What do I want to talk about in football? I watched one of the worst football games I've ever seen today. I tuned into, I don't know if you did as well, Browns versus Steelers,
I watched it.
and
Yep.
it was
I watched some of
truly
it.
awful. Did you watch the second half?
No, I was on boyfriend duty.
Okay. So the second half, I tuned in the third quarter because I had Jerome Ford on my fantasy team.
Ivan Joku,
Um,
shout out to him.
he had a decent day, I think.
Nah,
But
9, 10 points.
yeah, so I saw I think two first downs in the entirety of the third quarter, and then it was just terrible. Like I watched and I think I saw like 6 points in the entirety of the second half, and the Browns ended up winning, so they're somehow 7-3 with um Thompson Robinson, whatever
Dorian
at
Thompson
quarterback.
Robinson.
That dude is bad. Like he
Really?
is
You think he's bad?
really not good. I mean, the Steelers secondary is good, but like, ugh, for to be a starting quarterback on a 7-3 team, like somebody's going to catch a break with the
Yeah.
Browns in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Uh, And the Steelers will find a way through endless BS into the playoffs, if I had to guess.
They suck. That team is terrible. I don't think they're good at all. Um,
They've been outgained in I think all 10 games this season, and they're 6-4 somehow. But that's remarkable, like how incompetent they are offensively.
wait, so the Browns are 7-3?
The Browns are 7-3,
That's
yeah, but
insane.
they're not ahead in the division. Obviously with the Ravens. What else in football?
Uh,
Oh, another note that I have to make is that the Lions are quietly in contention for home field in the NFC. That's not to say that like anyone would pick the
Shout out
Lions to
Ginger.
beat. Yes, yes. Shout out to Brock.
Ginger's and he's gonna listen to this from Gatlinburg. So Ginger, I know you made it. How you doing?
I don't think anyone would pick Detroit over like Philadelphia or San
You're falling.
Francisco.
You're falling. You're falling.
Ah, thank you. Um, but they're having a great season and they come back winning in Chicago today, so you will see. Do you have any NFL takes? I don't
Yeah,
know.
so last thing. Just watching this Jets Bills game, uh like you said last year, Nathaniel Hackett is the biggest idiot ever. So the whole game, Zach Wilson's been getting pressured. I mean, yeah, sure, like probably 40% of it's on Zach Wilson, but the other 60% of it, probably split 30-30, is on the O line. But the root of the O line struggles is Hackett, because I mean he has, like, I'll be, because I have Garrett Wilson on my fantasy team, so I'm watching him closely. So he'll have Garrett Wilson run a deep post corner when Wilson has like point 0.5 seconds to throw the ball. So why not have Garrett Wilson line up in the slot, or yeah, Garrett Wilson, 'cause he's your best offensive player. So have him line up in this slot, do a 5 and in, because the linebackers there blitzing, and then or do a quick slant or a slip screen. But no, whenever they would do a slip screen, they would have like all the blockers would just like fall down. And so it'd be like Garrett Wilson on like a linebacker.
Right.
And that was their offense. And then Brees Hall at one point had 9 rushes for 8 yards. So
Yikes.
Nathaniel Hackett is still an idiot. That dude should not be employed in the National Football League, maybe in the Canadian Football League, but not here. Because I mean that dude is a clown. I swear I
Yeah.
could do a better job than him.
Yeah, he's really bad. And to be fair, Zach Wilson's terrible. We know
He's
that.
terrible. He's awful,
He's
but
he's really bad.
he ain't helping him out.
Um,
Hackett ain't helping him out.
no, he's not. I will give credit to the Jets for winning 4 games this year thus
How did
far.
they
Like
do that?
I don't know. It's like a pattern of the Jets where they fall behind like by 14 early, and you think they're going to get killed, and then they
Yeah.
slowly work their way back into the game. Because I think they do have a really good defense, but they just have no help on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Um, the Saints have a really big game next week, especially with the Tampa losing today, so we're a game up on both Tampa and Atlanta. We have a chance to go 2 up as well as start maybe earning the tiebreaker against the Falcons. It's a really big game because I don't. We have to start building some momentum um, in the second half of the season. Not that we've been like bad, but we've been slightly underwhelming. I think at 5-5. But looking at the rest of our schedule, it's Falcons, we have the Panthers, Giants, Rams, Falcons again, Bucks. Like those are games that we really should win 4 or 5 of them and end up with 10, 11 wins if we play well. But that has to start coming out of the bye. And if we don't win that, then we have the Lions coming in next week. It very easily could fall to 5-7 and start to derail. So it's a really huge game. I think next week the Saints have to win.
So you don't think our season's lost?
I don't know. You can't say the season's lost if we're the top of the division. I
I
mean,
guess, but I just don't think we have any chance to do anything in the playoffs.
I didn't think that coming into the season. Like for me, the whole
How?
season, like, did you think coming into the year that we had a chance to beat either Dallas, Philadelphia, or San Francisco?
Think we had a chance.
You think we could have beat the Eagles coming into the year?
I think we had a chance.
That's where I disagree.
I mean,
Like
I
for
guess I
me,
had, like, Derek Carr is completely different than what I thought he was. I thought he, like, give him a defense. I thought he would be good. Apparently not.
to me, Derek Carr has not. I mean, he's maybe not lived up to what we hoped he would be, but he hasn't been like
Sam, it's what he
bad.
hasn't done.
I mean, yes and no. Like he's been an average quarterback, right?
No, he's been below
I,
average.
I think he's an average quarterback. I mean, I look at around the league. For one thing, he's been healthy for the most part, I should say. But I mean, looking around the league, there's not a lot of great quarterbacks around. Like at the moment, Lamar's good, or just let's just look in the NFC. Like Dak is good, Hurts is
Purd,
good,
Purdy's
Goff
good.
is good, Purdy's fine, um,
Better than
Geno's
Carr.
fine, Sam Howell's fine.
All
But
better
like,
than Carr.
I don't know. Like to me, they're like
Same, I
Carr has been
guess.
an average quarterback to me. I mean, look at the statistics for like passing yards. He's middle of the pack, and I think QBR he's middle of the pack. He's been middle of the road, and for me, like my expectation of Carr was to be a borderline top 10 quarterback. Like I expected him to be anywhere between like 8 and 12. So if he's or not eight, I shouldn't say eight, but like maybe anywhere between like 10 and 12.
Yeah.
And he's been a little bit below that. So I'm not gonna knock Derek Carr, and he also has just terrible offensive play calling. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Um, so coming into the year for me, the whole thing was about winning the division. I never had any expectation on them to do anything in the playoffs, and they're still right there to win the division. So for me, they're where I hoped they would be, even
I
though
would
it
be
hasn't.
so shocked if we didn't lose the division. Like if we lost, didn't lose. I'd
If
be
we
so
did lose the division,
yeah. If we lost the division, I'd be stunned because every
yeah,
other team in our division stinks.
they're terrible. I
Yeah.
mean, not that we're great, but we're average at least. I like for me, I just if we win the division, I can't complain about anything. Like that's the goal of the season. That when we brought in Derek Carr, it was with winning the division in mind. And if I'm going to a home playoff game in January, I have to say it was a good season.
Yeah.
Like you
I mean,
just can't
also,
you can't complain about that.
also we have the weakest schedule in the league, but no, I understand.
Yeah. Um, but they have to beat Atlanta. It starts beating Atlanta. Like
Yeah.
I think we have a legit chance at still winning 11 games. Like I think looking at our final 7 games, I think we could very well win 6 of them. With a loss to like the Lions, or I think we should go 5-2. Like in these final 7, that's an optimistic take, but it can't be any worse than 4-3, which would put us at 9 wins, and I think that's good enough to win the division. So
Yeah.
we're where I think we should be. So I'm okay with the Saints where we're at right now.
All right. I mean, I guess. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's just not exciting. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
I would just I would describe my relationship with the Saints as like an abusive relationship. Like this weekend, like I know the Saints aren't good for me. I don't enjoy them, but I do miss the Saints not playing. So, you know, even though I don't like them, I still still have to tune in and hope for the best. We'll
yeah.
see.
And that I'm the same way, Sam.
It's just
Uh,
not a fun team to watch. Like I
no.
remember, I it was more fun to watch when we were terrible, but we had Drew Brees than when we're average and we play like this. So
Yeah.
that's
Well
my
said.
take. We continue to learn more and more every year how good Drew Brees was. I think is the lesson.
Top five QB all time.
Yeah, yeah. I
No, it's all right. That's a
I
discussion
six.
for
I think
another
he's
day.
6. I think he's 6. Just
What do you
very
got top
quickly. I'm
five?
not getting into this, but for me, in no particular order: Brady, Montana, um, Manning, Elway, and Mahomes, and arguably Rodgers. I think you give
I mean, I
one
can't
of.
disagree with. I mean, I
I
can't
think you
like
give
say you're
one of
stupid, but
Elway or Rodgers. I think is better than Breeze, but I think those. I think the 4 of Mahomes, Manning, Brady, and Montana are above Breeze. But if you want to say he's fifth, that's an okay
yeah,
take.
it's not a stupid take.
All
Uh,
right. Anyways, anything else?
no, I'm done. Yep.
No. Fairly mundane podcast today. Thank you for making it all the way through. If you did, we'll have more exciting voices in the future, I promise. But there's just,
It
the
all
sports
depends on
world.
what our teams do.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a boring time to be a New Orleans sports fan. Hasn't been bad, hasn't been good. You know,
It's just been there.
we're just here. The football
Yeah.
team's 5-5, the basketball team's 6-7.
Yeah.
So
It's really
what are you
accurate.
gonna do?
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, thank you for making it all the way through. Shout out to you, Trent, because I don't think I've shouted you out in a while. And anyways, yeah. Anything else?
Hi Ginger.
Yes.
All
Hi,
right.
Brock. All
Do
right.
the outro.
And cue the outro.
All right. Sam and
Sam,
CD.
CD,
CD and Sam.
CD, and Sam.